In a world full of movies, a group of cinema junkies have decided to start calling Hollywood on all their bull and recognize the films they're passionate about.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick. The 12-gauge double-barrel running S-Mark top of the line.
Groovy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its cinema podcast / video show. That's right, Primitive Screwheads. Joining me tonight is Tony Perrone. And Rob Potsy Potchak. That's right, we are bringing to you an episode special tonight, specifically about the movie Malignant, now on HBO Max. And Tony, you've watched all 3 episodes, so we're going to talk about
Why the Last Man.
Why the Last Man. That's right.
It's a double entendre. I learned that in high school.
So what's been going on with you, my friend? Let's go ahead and start there because there's a bunch with the cinema universe going on right now, but I want to know what's going on with you.
I've just been working a lot, kind of trying to figure some things out as far as work goes. I'm not going to say too much right now, but it's going well. So I will. I'll let you know a little bit more about that later. But I've been seeing a lot of movies lately, and actually going to the theater more, which is cool. I've been to the Alamo a few times. I was at Cinemark on this past Saturday, Raleigh Grand, to see Malignant because I saw it was a James Wan movie. And I barely even watched the trailer. I think I watched it like once, and I was like, well, it's James Wan. So, he said he wasn't going to make movies anymore, so I'm okay with being lied to in that regard. Because,
Perfectly okay.
Wow, that movie was crazy. You watched it at home, right? You watched it on HBO?
I did, but we're going to talk about that movie. But What else has been going on with you, Emily, and everything else in the Perrone family?
Oh, man, we're just living the dream, man. You know how it goes. Just day in, day out, get through the week, get to the weekend, smoke some stuff on the grill, have a good time. Did you have a nice Labor Day? I didn't really even talk to you.
Dude, I had a great Labor Day. I hung out with family, did all that cool stuff. But I got to tell you, since the two of us did our last episode, there has been crazy shit going on with the movie industry.
Oh,
There has been a Spider-Man trailer. There has been a Matrix trailer.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's that going on.
Like we can't even describe everything that's been going on. But before we start talking about the movie that we're here for, Malignant, I want to go ahead and say, when you saw the Spider-Man, what was it? Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, No Country for Old Spider-Man.
No Country for Old Spider-Man.
Yeah, I saw it. I think I watched it one time because I generally pretty much only watch trailers like once, maybe twice. I know they come out with like 3 or 4 trailers because I don't know. I like to be surprised because I think towards the when it gets close to release, they're just like showing you all kinds of stuff, and you're gonna be waiting the whole movie to see that part or whatever, So I think it looks really cool though. I like how Doctor Strange is in it, or maybe not. That's sort of like the big question. Is it really? I've seen snippets. Is it really Doctor Strange? Or Could it be maybe is it supposed to maybe be like Mysterio or Green Goblin or something like that?
So based on all of that, it looks like it is meant to be a real Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange is toying with how to deal with reality, and he's fucking it up.
Oh, is that kind of like that What If episode?
Kinda, except I don't think it's that far. I think that it's really, he just seems to be like, he fucked something up, and then Peter shows up, and Peter's like, "Hey, what's up with all the snow?" You know, like, and Doctor Strange has to explain to him, "Well, I opened up a reality or something, and it caused a bunch of snow here." Like, I kind of think that's what it is, but like, when you think about it, there's so much possibility in terms of what could be the facts and all that, and it's not just that film. Like, we kind of off air talked a little bit about, like, the Matrix, and the fact that they dropped the trailer for that, because that comes out on my birthday. So December 22nd, cool. I'm sitting there like,
you said what? When's your birthday?
December 22nd.
Cool.
Because I'm already sitting there going, hey, they dropped the Matrix trailer, and a couple people I know, when I posted the Matrix trailer on Facebook, are sitting there going, holy shit, I didn't even know this was like a thing.
Yeah, I didn't either. Like, I mean, what? they've been dropping like fan made trailers for that sort of stuff forever. So I was like, that's not the real thing. And I was like, oh, this is legit. It's John Wick in the Matrix. So
yeah, and you just nailed it.
I'm thinking I'm the one.
But you just nailed it. Like
yeah.
Everybody I've talked to after watching that trailer, I'm sitting there and I'm like, that legitimately looked like John Wick on acid.
Yeah. I mean, like, really, I'm so like, they probably should have had him shave his beard and maybe cut his hair, but
no,
you don't think so?
Because
that's not Neo.
Real with you. At this point in his existence, if I see Keanu Reeves without, like, the beard, like, I think it looks weird.
But dude, I mean, there was a point when he didn't really have a beard. Neo didn't have a beard.
But he just did, like, the Bill and Ted movie, and he didn't have the beard, and he looked super creepy.
It's messed up, man.
like be real with me. He looked super creepy. Admit it.
I didn't watch it. I don't know. I couldn't watch it. It didn't look good. So
apparently it is a solid Bill and Ted third movie.
Really?
That's all I'm gonna say, because I haven't watched it. All I know is that, like, other people that have been actually okay with it, which is perfectly fine to me. My thing is that I'm sitting there like, I would really like to see that, like, anything that we do when it comes to Bill and Ted or anything Keanu Reeves, at this point, I kind of feel like he's John Wick.
No, that's so crazy. He's like reinvented himself,
multiple times, multiple years, multiple whatever.
But, centuries probably.
But son of a bitch is John Wick. Let's be real. Let's be real. That son of a bitch is John Wick.
Yeah, right.
How has he not been cast as Connor McLeod for Highlander?
He does kind of look like that, doesn't he? That's weird. I didn't even think about that.
Well,
I mean, since he is immortal, so there you go.
Wow. Well, here's the interesting thing is that the writer and director of John Wick, I guess it's Chad Stahelski, has bought the rights to Highlander to make the movie.
I guess they can't get Sean Connery to be the Spaniard anymore. Such a weird choice. So weird.
Except it worked. One Sanchez Villa Lopez Ramirez.
I'm sorry, man.
Richard Sherman.
I couldn't. I don't know, man. I was just like,
dude, I love those movies.
I know. I'm not gonna dog on it.
In fact, I will say this, Tony. Not only do I love that series, but this week I went on to Vudu, the video service where you can buy and rent movies and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I bought the entire series of Highlander TV show.
I was about to say, I used to watch a TV show a bit when I was a kid. Very catchy theme song.
But I bought the entire thing. And folks, if you hear a little bit of side noise or something, we apologize. We're still trying to work out all of the details when it comes to me and Tony doing primitive Screwheads. Considering Saren's not here.
Again. He'll get there.
That's right, Saren. If you're watching the episode, we're calling you out, bro. But no, seriously. Seriously. So seriously, with when it comes to the idea of Highlander and everything else, I literally bought all 6 seasons of it on Vudu this week because it was on sale for $17.
It had 6 seasons? I didn't even know it had sets.
6 seasons, man. Yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
Fucking
I always like the
crazy
flashback
shit.
stuff that they did, that related to whatever episode was going on.
But I'll tell you what, the people that may be watching this episode here tonight, Primitive Screwheads Live, are probably wondering what's up with Malignant. and I want you to start by telling me why tell the folks out there what you said to me to get me to watch the movie, because I was like, man, I keep seeing this on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, and you said you need to watch it.
And probably I don't even read Rotten Tomatoes anymore, so I wouldn't be surprised if it got a really dirt rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't care. Because after I saw it and I messaged you, I was like, dude, this movie started out low budget. Like, it was really bad. And I was like, whatever. I get what I pay for, I guess,
But you were at the theater watching it.
Yeah, and I was like, well, whatever. I had a nice cheeseburger because I hadn't eaten anything. It was like 11 when I saw it. I hadn't eaten anything. A little bit hungover. So cheeseburger, fries, Diet Coke, cure for hangover, by the way. Anyways, I digress.
Perfect.
So, sitting in a dark theater, watching this movie with my buddy, and I remember after I saw it, I texted you, and I was like, this movie is like The Matrix meets The Ring and Nightmare on Elm Street. And you were like, what? You were like, okay, now I'm intrigued. Because I was like, it just goes off the rails. Like, it's completely bonkers.
And you even said to me that it seemed like the film was super low budget when it started. And as soon and for those out there,
it's like a Lifetime movie almost.
Yeah, almost. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna sit there and say spoiler alert right now.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
But like 5 minutes into the movie, when all of a sudden, like the doctor sits there and goes, she sits there and goes, we're gonna cut the cancer out.
Yeah, I know.
And like you sat there and said to me, you were like, this is super cheesy, like super creepy. And I was like, after I watched the whole movie, because I didn't even consider that when I was watching it, but when I watched that moment, I was like, is that James Wan's way of saying this is like an 80s portion of the film and super creepy and super dumb because like in the 80s that's how horror would have been done?
Yeah, like that's kind of how, I mean, because it was a bit like Nightmare on Elm Street, you know what I mean? Like at first,
Yeah.
'cause it's just kind of like idyllic, seemingly idyllic setting. A car that's like way out of place. Her Toyota that had wood paneling that came out, and then you never saw it ever again. The whole movie, I don't think you ever saw it ever again. But like when she first pulls up to the house, and she's obviously pregnant, and then she goes and talks to her husband, which you didn't really even know if it was her husband or not. It didn't. It just and like he was like watching UFC in the middle of the day or something like that, and then he got upset because she turned it off and she wanted to rest because she was pregnant and working. And he was like, "Hey, I was watching that." Like it was just felt so weird.
There was so much weird shit in
Yeah.
this movie. Like I'll be real with you. I fell asleep.
Oh no.
For like 30 minutes in the middle, because you even told me that it's like really slow.
Yeah.
And when I woke up, I was like, "Holy shit! What the fuck's going on?"
Was it like? Did you wake up like at one of like the vendetta scenes, like one of the stabbing scenes or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, was it the guy? Like the doctor was like his window was open or whatever, and then she just like. Or wait, yeah, or whatever it is, just like stabs him in the face a bunch. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. It was a pretty brutal movie too. It was definitely pretty graphic.
I mean, this is the type of film that when you watch, like you're not gonna know exactly who the killer is.
You got it till the end, till the reveal. You could try. I was like, "What is the twist?" I was like.
Yeah.
What is this?
After you told me I needed to watch it, I was like, I'm going to guess this shit. I'm going to guess it like 10 minutes into it. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And so spoiler alert. And I got to say this because this is what I felt, okay? So spoiler alert. What I felt was going to happen was we were going to find out that the cancer that was cut out of the girl was gonna grow up.
Oh.
And the whole time I'm sitting there going, when am I gonna see this giant fucking cancerous growth like that grew up? And that's not the case. And James Wan fucking got me with that because I'm like, and I'm not gonna say that he got me 100%, but he got me about 80% with that. You know?
I mean, I got like I was like, holy shit, like so crazy, like because I mean the reveal was it was in the like the holding pen when she got they finally arrested her,
right?
And then she was in the holding pen. And then it was like the complete like body transformation because her what it was her twin. What do they call that kind of twin? Sarcoma or
it's a
malignant twin. Yeah, well they call it. They don't call it that anymore. I think it's sarcoma or something like that.
In this situation, you're right, and I don't want to give away too much, but it was like a sarcoma twin. That like the whole. I'll say right now for anybody that goes ahead and watches this movie that the name of the movie gives away the end without ever saying gives away the end.
Right, exactly. It definitely gives it away, but you can't know until you watch it. I will say there was one part where I was very confused, and that was when the woman from the underground Seattle tour gets abducted.
Yeah.
You know, she was in the attic or whatever. She was like chained up in the attic. I was like, is that her? I was like, is that the main character? You know what I mean? I was very confused. I was like, why do they look so similar? I was like, I don't understand. Why did they get an actress that looks so similar? And
So I believe that was supposed to be the mom.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, but I mean, I did not pick up on that at all because I was sort of distracted because I was still trying to figure out what the hell was going on. You know what I mean?
The whole film to me had me sitting there going, this is weird, this is crazy, this is and at the same time, like I was still bought in and wanting to see how it finished. And folks, just so everybody knows, when Tony contacted me and said, hey, have you checked out this film? This is when it hit HBO Max, and he was like, hey, this film is like crazy, and it's not only just crazy, it's The Matrix meets, what other films did you say?
It was The Ring and Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah.
And I will tell you, immediately upon Tony telling me that it was Nightmare on Elm Street, The Ring, and he goes, dude, you gotta watch this shit. It's fucking cool. And I was like, all right, I'll try to. And after talking to him for like 5 minutes after that, I was like, shit, I gotta watch this movie, right? And I watched it the very next day, and I was like, immediately after it, I was like, Tony, when do you want to talk about this on the internet?
Yeah. I think also it really, it kind of moved from because like a lot of it was sort of like a slasher kind of film or whatever. There was like these people that you knew were the doctors, and they were getting murdered by something, but you didn't know what it was. And then when the detective caught on, and it was like that chase, you know what I mean? That was a pretty cool chase, man. Like,
oh yeah,
I thought that was well done.
When like the guy that looked like Colin Hanks,
yeah, or it looked sort of like Keanu Reeves. It could be like Keanu Reeves' son or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We were kind of talking about it, like, who is this guy?
Yeah,
it's like some no-name actor.
Detective Kakoa. What was his name? Right? It was Kakoa. That was his name, right?
Yeah, Kakoa might never get another role.
Yeah.
I hope he does. But you and I were sitting there, and we were like, in this situation, like what would happen, and blah blah blah. And I remember you telling me that it kind of looked like Keanu Reeves, and I was like, oh, it kind of feels like this guy, and
or like a younger version of the dude from Will and Grace, McCormick.
Yeah, exactly. You were saying he looked like the guy from Will and Grace.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm sitting there going, it doesn't matter, because to my point to you, after we watched the whole thing, I messaged you back and I said, that son of a bitch, no matter what happens at the end of this film, that son of a bitch is gonna get the chair.
Yeah. Because this is exactly what I said. I was like, someone's going to prison. Like the definitely going to prison.
I described it was last night. I was on the Potsy and Tino show with Tino.
Yeah.
And Tino was like, well, should I watch the movie? And I'm like, yeah, but at the end of the film, you're gonna go, this motherfucker needs the chair, right? And he goes,
or just like in a cell forever.
And I said to him, I was like, hey, do you remember watching like Taken 3? And he goes, yeah, I remember watching Taken 3. I was like, well, remember how like there's this sequence where he has already been captured by the cops.
Right.
Somehow that motherfucker figures out how to flip the car and walk away from it, right? And this whole thing happens, and he walks away from it, and Forrest Whitaker is the big time cop guy. I'm not gonna say he's the bad guy because, well, he's a cop, right? So in this situation, Liam Neeson walks away from a situation where he flipped the car over and the two cops die.
Oh God.
And I go,
they just let him go.
Well, I said, here's the problem. The problem is that like Liam Neeson knows that he's distinctly responsible for the two cops dying, and yet Forrest Whitaker is like, yeah, Mr. Mills, just go ahead and go on.
Yeah, right.
It's like bullshit.
No questions.
Bullshit.
Yeah, get out of jail free.
Caused the death of two police officers, and you're telling me it's okay for him to just walk away?
Yeah, right.
Fuck
That's
yourself.
so funny.
That would never happen.
No, it wouldn't. And that was the thing, basically at the end of, the resolution or whatever from Malignant. I was like, well, I mean, they, spoiler alert, they definitely set it up for the second one.
Well, they set it up for like some supernatural sequel. Like not even necessarily.
If that's not supernatural to you, I don't know what is, dude. That's just
but it wasn't necessarily set up to just be like your standard like horror sequel or anything else. It was set up to be like hey, that person got away at this one, and now what can we do, right? And it's almost like what is it? Don't Breathe. Where
I didn't see the second one yet.
Stephen Lang back to do the second movie,
and
suddenly he's like the superhero in the second one versus.
Yeah, it's weird because usually he plays like good guy roles, not all the time, obviously, but he usually plays someone with a heroic complex. So I guess they were like,
Well, I kind of look at the way that they're doing Don't Breathe 2 as if it were like Terminator 2, right? Because like in Terminator 1, Arnold's the bad guy and Arnold is the monster.
Right.
And then in Terminator 2, Arnold's the good guy. So
it's pretty clever how they did that. Yeah.
So like based on and I don't know specifically because I haven't watched in fact I'll be real, I haven't watched even the first Don't Breathe, but I'm assuming with the second Don't Breathe that he is the good guy because they've even made it look like a little girl sits there and is like, hey, I need your help, and then blah,
Yeah. I've seen the first one. It's a really good movie. I liked it a lot.
I heard the first one was phenomenal for
it's pretty crazy, man.
Super creepy,
and there's a pretty crazy twist. There's a cool twist.
So all right, Tony. Let's for the next little bit, let's go ahead and turn our attention to Why the Last Man on Hulu.
Yeah.
I asked you after you said you wanted to talk about this past movie.
Yeah.
I asked you whether or not you had actually paid attention to Why the Last Man on Hulu. And
I've been waiting for it to come out on
a
visual medium. Yeah. I've waiting for it to come out on visual medium for probably like 10 years. It's been in development hell. It's going to be a movie. There's been a bunch of people attached to it. So I was really happy to see they finally got, because it's a cool story. You know what I mean? It's a cool like what if, you know what I mean? Like that'd be a pretty terrifying scenario if 4 billion people on the planet, and not just people, 4 billion people and whatever mammals that have a Y chromosome just crashed and died, like just
Yeah.
all at the same time. Nuts.
So like the first episode of this show, just so anybody that is, and by the way, if you're in the audience and you're listening to me and Tony talk about this, don't be shy. Say hi. Talk in the comments. We will sit there and actually make sure that we're talking with you.
Yeah, sure.
Answering your questions, doing whatever we need to. I see that there's somebody watching right now, so please don't be afraid to sit there. On top of that, make sure that you are clicking the like button on YouTube so that we can continue to do these kind of things. But when it comes to this show, the first episode, the way that it hit, man, I'll tell you, it scares the fuck out of me.
I mean, it definitely took a bit to build. You know what I mean? I like how they built. It was like animals first. You know what I mean? Like different characters.
We had to assume what was going to happen in these types of situations where it is a life-altering event.
Yeah,
we would assume that the animals that were less fortunate would end up getting hit before humans, right?
What do you mean, like getting hit? You mean dying? Yeah, I guess.
So like when you watch the first episode and all of a sudden the guy steps out of the ambulance and he sees the dog, and the dog is like whimpering.
Yeah.
And the dog walks up to him. He's like, "Hey, this is I'm walking up to the dog," and then all of a sudden, while the dog's whimpering, the dog sits there and he's like, and before you know it, the dog has like just, you know, I'm going to say right now, for anybody who is weak of heart,
that was
the way that they show how the world changes in this show is not for you, and yet at the same time it is absolutely 100% necessary to make sure that you understand how the world could change in an instant,
in a second.
I
mean, I couldn't even so I was watching it with Emily, and at first she said, you know, I don't like the fact that you know, it just shows all these women that are panicked. And I was like, well, I mean, you know, every man in their life that they've ever known ever is now dead, but they're actually doing pretty good, because if it was reversed, men would have already hurled missiles at each other. Like, so, you know.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Like,
and the panic is obviously understandable, but I think that if it was the other way around, I mean, they would have already been.
It's crazy to see that the Diane Lane character is, even though she's already heard contemplation that Russia had 12 men alive.
Yeah.
And yet the Kremlin got overtaken and everything else, and it caused a big siege.
Yeah.
Knowing all of that, like, it's like, was it real? Was it not? Was it like, and we don't know. And they're teaching us just bullshit. Like they anticipate that we would be hearing about it.
Right. That was funny. He's like, what happened in Russia?
Yeah.
I was like, I want to know. Damn it.
And interestingly enough, so Tony, have you watched the third episode at this point?
Yeah, I watched it a couple hours ago. Yeah.
So all 3 episodes that are currently on FX, you've watched.
Yeah. And it airs on Monday, right? It airs on Monday, right? It's kind of a strange day for it to air,
yes,
but yeah.
It airs on Mondays on FX / Hulu. It is specifically a Hulu broadcast,
which is pretty cool. I was like, damn it, it's on FX. I'm not gonna be able to watch it. I don't have cable, so I'm not gonna be able to watch it. But I'm glad that they do that kind of stuff now. And it's actually day of. It's not even day after.
Yeah, exactly. So So specifically with this show, my question to you is, and folks, I'm going to say right now, spoiler alert. We know that the woman that is currently in charge of the United States after the 3rd episode is also the mom of the
last man.
human male who is still in existence.
And you know what? I was like, this does not look good when they actually like reunited or whatever. I was like, man, these people are so upset and ready to tear each other apart. Any little thing, if they see that the president's son is the only one that's left alive, I mean, obviously she didn't do anything, but it doesn't look good. You know what I mean? You can't get around that.
Such an element to the entire thing. And it's crazy because like you think about it and it's, oh, well, we're going to sit there and send out a message to figure out whether or not there's any humans or male. Then we're going to send this out. We're going to figure out whether, and then to find out that the one human male is the president's son.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out whether or not he actually is a male.
Yeah.
Because in the first couple episodes, you see a couple characters that are trans, right? So we're trying to figure out whether or not Yorick, the son of the president, is actually male, as well as Ampersand, which is
Capuchin.
What's that?
The Capuchin.
Yeah, which is the monkey.
The little monkey.
And the monkey is also male. So they are the only 2 males in the world after the 3rd episode.
I'm interested to see what they do with like cryobanks and stuff like that. You know, if they're even viable. I mean, it seems like they would be. You know, they're frozen, they're sealed away. So
I'm wondering whether or not that the cryobanks of human DNA were affected by the situation.
I mean, they need to get someone working on that pretty quick. They need to get someone to figure that out.
Well, you would think that they do, but the whole show, the way that it's based, and it's, I would assume it's pretty accurate. Like the woman Diane Lane's character is as the president is sitting there trying to determine how do we spread out our area without having everything cut down. And it's amazing because like it's shut down almost as fast as they tried to expand. You know what I mean?
No, what are you talking about? What do you mean
So,
try to
so like
expand?
the
You mean like
expansion of where they are. How do we take our current spacing and expand it, right?
you mean like govern? Is that what you're talking about? How do they
Well,
govern?
so specifically, let's talk about Diane Lane as the president sitting
Right.
there saying, "Hey, we have completely governized this area," right? And then she sits there and goes, "Now we're going to try to expand."
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And every time they try to expand, there's something that's like
Something else.
converging on them to prevent the expansion.
Oh, you mean like they have like a power plant crisis or whatever or stuff like that, flooding, the flooding
Definitely
and stuff with
that
them.
stuff, but also the
Yeah.
fact that at the same time, where they are, you're hearing constantly about like there's 5,000 people outside trying to get in.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know exactly where they are because they're not at the White House. Because remember they seeded the White House. So
You're right. And she
yeah,
sat there and said, "We can rebuild the White
yeah,
House."
it's just a house. Yeah,
And by the way, this may be some of Diane Lane's best acting ever.
she's always been a great actress.
She's
Yeah,
always great,
yeah,
but the fact that you sit there and you feel the world is converging on her shoulders
yeah,
on a moment to moment basis. And when she's not sitting there dealing with these major moments, you still feel that.
yeah. Because there's also like political intrigue inside there wherever they're. I guess maybe they're in a bunker somewhere, or maybe
Now,
they're in
let me
the.
ask you something.
I don't know where they are. Huh.
The girl that is specifically, I only answer to the president.
Oh yeah, Agent 355 or 358 or something.
355.
Yeah, 355. Yeah.
She gonna fuck us?
No, I don't think so. She's I
Like,
think
I
she's
haven't read
stand
this
up.
series, so I don't know.
No, I mean she seems like I mean she has no reason to. I mean she killed terrorists, so I mean she seems pretty trustworthy. I mean obviously if she does, I'm going to be taken by complete surprise, but I don't think so, man. I think she's legit.
I feel that
She's
she
a
is.
badass.
I feel that based on how we learned about her, because she was a prime aspect of the first three episodes, right?
Right.
Felt like the way that we learned about her and everything, like finding out that where the government wanted her to be known and everything else, and then finding out that it had nothing to do with the president to be really kind of I feel like there's something there
Oh, you
that
mean
they're
like what
not
was her
telling
mission?
us.
What was her? Well, she
Yeah,
was there. There was a credible threat apparently. So, but she hadn't been briefed on what it was before the event. You know.
right, because it was their first day at
Yeah. They
at
said they would brief her in a couple weeks, and then they never did because they died.
well, because they all
Yeah.
died, right?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Could you imagine like the realization like all the dudes just died? Like what the fuck? It's so crazy, man.
Dude,
Um,
I'm being real with you right now. I can tell you that like I can't fathom half the population dying. And
yeah, I
I
know.
am currently writing. So For those that out there that don't know what I do for a daily basis, yes, I have a daytime job, but on top of that, I write comic books. And just recently I was asked to write a 20-page horror story that would be like a one and done, kind of get it over with kind of thing. And I can tell you right now that this show handles and what I'll say about it is this. The show handles the aspects of
the totality of it.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
The totality of it in such a way that it's different.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah. I wish that I could really describe it, but it's
like trying to think about how many stars there actually are. You can't do it. You know what I mean? Even though 4 billion is obviously less than how many stars there actually are, it's still hard to fathom that many people dying horrifically at the same time.
It is at the same time when people try to figure out, like, is this a certain point or whatever, or should we look at, like,
I'm excited to find out why. Obviously, I want to know why.
When it comes down to it,
I want to know who did it. This is not it can't be a natural event. This is a bio event or something. I don't know.
I hope that by the end of season 1, we know the answer to that question. And the reason why I say that, Tony, is because, like, having watched at this point what I would assume is half the season, or at least the first third of the season, right?
Yeah, there's probably 10 episodes. I would guess there's
probably 10 episodes. I'm really super worried that we're not going to feel comfortable after we send it off and try to figure out who's responsible.
Right.
And specifically now, knowing that it is a Hulu show, we've got our answer after 3 episodes, and I'm sitting there going, holy fuck. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, I think that we can keep guessing, you know what I mean? But unless you've read the comic, I mean, you're pretty much just pissing in the wind. You know what I mean?
And I gotta be real. At this point, 3 episodes into the series, even though Brian K. Vaughan and Pia Guerra are executive producers in the series, I have to believe that both of them have allowed the series to mold differently. And
you mean like different from the comic book? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Have different craziness happen.
Yeah. I always remember when I saw the artwork for the graphic novel or whatever, that it always looked like Donald Yeager from the movie theater.
Yeah. It's exactly my point. So I know that there's things coming up that are directly from the comic, but I would
there is some for sure, but like I think I only read like maybe 2 or 3, and then I guess I just fell off of it. But um, yeah, I'm definitely excited, and I definitely will be uh, tuning in every week for
But
sure.
I would anticipate that there's things out there that are different.
In a world full of movies,
Sorry. That make everybody think that there's something different going on out there. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean like they do that? Like they change up. They change up some stuff like that with the Expanse, things like that. Yeah, or was
Oh,
it?
absolutely.
Maybe it wasn't the Expanse. What was it? I can't remember what it was. Where they? It might have been more like Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? They changed up stuff from.
Oh, totally,
You know what I
totally.
mean?
But
Yeah.
but realistically, there's so much changed based on like this right here. Like there's obviously going to be stuff that is going to be changed compared to what we've been talking about.
Oh yeah, sure. And that's I like when they do that. You know what I mean? If you read the art and the source material, it's a good way to keep people to come in and keep them guessing again. Well,
but
also treating
even
them
more
as things, the
specifically,
bigger beats that they like. You know what I mean?
the things that have actually been like talked about between you and me right now, and whether or not like there's already like a specific talking point with that stuff. You know, like there's certain things that have already been said and pointed out and whatever. And then the new stuff coming up.
Right.
So,
Can't wait.
yeah. Exactly. So of course, I don't know how you feel about everything else going on, Tony. I have absolutely loved talking about the movie Malignant.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. We normally like spoil like the whole thing. Like we watch a movie, or we talk about a movie, and we didn't this time because it was that crazy. And if you watch this or whatever, and it kind of makes you want to watch the movie. I want you to be surprised because you're gonna be like, "Holy shit, this was bonkers!" And
Yeah,
I'm glad that there was some mystery left.
So I want to point out that you specifically told me that I should watch the movie because it would remind me of like just random crazy movie shit going on.
Yeah.
But it was like it was a lot of crazy movie shit, including
and it's really gory too.
Including like The Matrix.
Yeah.
And there was like 2 other things that you like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because like with the hair, like with the ring, and
it was like the ring, the
Freddy Krueger, like the Dream Warrior, the Sandman, or whatever.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, James Wan knows going into these kind of films that he's already pulling from certain parts of
that's true.
What he already did,
Yeah.
And he does it in such a way that makes you sit there and go, that son of a bitch does it really well. Like I would say right now, he does it really well.
Yeah, he does. I was wondering why he had seemed like it was such a lower budget movie because I mean he's done like The Conjuring, right? And he did The Conjuring and like the Sinister. I think it was Sinister and what's the movie? The other movie with Patrick Wilson.
think the reason why he did this one and it seems so cheap is he does so much of like it's weird because like that so much of like the extended special effects are done at the end of the film.
Yeah, that's true. There were,
and
like
normally for these films that that you're gonna sit there and throw these extended like super crazy like special effects, like they're normally done in the middle of the film, maybe early in the film, whatever. And yet that this is like the first time that James Wan sat there and said, all right, we got this cool thing in the middle, we got this cool thing right here, and then at the end, I'm gonna sit there and say, fuck it all up. Am I right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Like you just
yeah. Oh my god, this is fucking crazy. Yeah.
And by the way, before we end the show, I mentioned to you and anybody that has watched the movie or anything else, I sat there and I was like, seriously, like what after we figure out who the end of the like
what
the whole thing I was like what makes us all sit there and go, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
Like there's so many of those stories and everything else, but like at the end of this one, I was like, how are we done?
Yeah. How are we done? Yeah, right. Oh, you're talking about how the ending was like kind of abrupt, where it was like, yeah, I know, but that's like a horror movie ending. Sometimes they're just like, I don't know what the fuck else to say, so credits. Like, whoop.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. They're just like, Freddy Krueger turns into a convertible, and like, what?
Yes.
What?
Thank you.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. That's funny. Yeah, go see it and go watch Y the Last Man.
Without a doubt, anybody that has not watched Y the Last Man, I don't know why IMDb has only given it a 6.5 out of 10. Maybe they know
who cares?
the rest
Whatever.
of the episodes. I don't know, but after 3 episodes, I'm sitting there going, "This is one of the best shows I've ever watched."
But on that note, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, I apologize for keeping Tony up too late.
No, it's okay, man. I love talking to you, Rob.
I'm trying to figure out whether or not I actually have music to sit there and close us out tonight. I don't know. All right. It's been a rough night, man. I apologize, but
do you hear my cat screaming at me?
I do.
Yeah.
Your cat should be the new music, actually.
He wants to be fed. He's so pissed off.
I believe, by the way.
So upset.
So let me put it this way, folks. Tournament of Screwheads has really appreciated you. Tony Perrone, as one of the original hosts, loves the fact that you actually wanted to be a part of this episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're trying to get Sarah and Tardell to be part of these episodes.
Hey, if you will come watch Shang-Chi, I mean, we could do an episode on that. So I think that's probably what we're planning on doing next.
So I have every episode, I have every belief that I'm going to do a Shang-Chi episode, Shang-Chi, if you will. But more than anything else, I want to go ahead and point out that we really do want everybody to be involved with this, whether or not it's a whatever it is. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to like grab something at the same time as saying something. Anyways, my point is this. Thank you for being a part of tonight's episode. I know that we've got somebody watching. Tony, thank you for being one of the original members of the Primitive Screwheads.
Yep, there's not many of us.
But the fact is that we are willing to do these episodes on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's fun, man. Definitely.
So on top of that, let's go ahead and just sit there and close out for tonight. I'll put it out there and say, hey, thank you everybody for being a part of the episode. On top of that, if you haven't actually subscribed to the show, it's youtube.com/RobPotsyPodchak, Rob Potchak. Either way, we're trying to get more and more viewers so that way we know what's going on in the media world. And that's what I got.
Good night.
That's what I got. So thank you, everybody. Hopefully everybody wants to join in. And thank you to Tony Perrone for sitting there and being such an awesome co-host tonight. And I am ready to call it a night on this.
Yeah, good night.